In the future, people no longer struggle to find a romantic partner. Robots have become indistinguishable from humans. Josh, who had been single his entire life, created a robot in the image of his ideal woman and named her Iris after binding her to his identity. After sending his friend away, Josh rebooted Iris. Shocked, Iris learned from him that she was, in fact, a robot, a reality she refused to accept. But when Josh produced a controller and began testing her, asking her to speak in foreign languages like Spanish and Chinese, she realized something was wrong. Confused and distressed, Iris still couldn't bring herself to accept the truth. Yet Josh coldly explained that all those memories were just preloaded data, and everything she felt, pain, emotion, was merely a result of programming. At that moment, Josh's friend Kat entered, questioning why Iris hadn't been shut down. Josh explaining that Iris was practically human and that he wanted a proper farewell. Meanwhile, Iris noticed a dagger nearby. When Josh returned to the living room, he found Iris lying motionless on the ground. Iris suddenly grabbed the controller and fled. Fearing exposure, he confessed the truth to his friends. He had hacked into Iris's system, removed the safety protocol preventing harm to humans, and increased her aggression and self-preservation instincts. Then, using the dinner at Sergei's home as a setup, he offered Iris's usage rights to the host, knowing the man wouldn't resist. The goal was to have Iris kill him and steal his hidden stash of cash. Josh promised to split the money 3 ways, needing his help. As it turned out, Patrick was also a robot. Tempted by the money, Eli grabbed a gun and set off with Patrick to find Iris. Elsewhere, Iris studied the controller she had taken. She discovered she could change her appearance, voice, and even intelligence level. After maxing out her IQ setting, her mind became clear, and she quickly devised a plan to escape. The villa was remote, so she decided to sneak back in, steal Josh's car, retrieve her cash and belongings, and leave the city for good. Barefoot, she made her way through the forest, but soon overheard voices. They had tracked her down. Iris hid behind a tree. Unlike Josh, Patrick was kind and seemed to genuinely care for her. Persuaded by Patrick, Iris even considered abandoning the money. But suddenly, while hiding, Iris accidentally makes a noise. Eli immediately becomes alert. She bursts out from hiding, narrowly dodging the bullet fired at her. The sound of gunfire also caught Josh's attention. Iris ran frantically through the forest, but Eli, who was intimately familiar with the area, managed to cut her off. Struggling to her feet, Iris and Eli both spotted a handgun lying on the ground nearby. Iris turned and sprinted back toward the villa. She finally climbed into the car, locking the door behind her just as Josh arrived, only a second too late. But to her dismay, the car required voice print authentication to start. Suddenly, Iris had an idea. She pulled out the control device and began adjusting her voice settings. Josh picked up a rock and smashed it against the car window, but Iris managed to drive off successfully. Josh rushed to Patrick, ordering him to track down Iris. But Patrick, grieving over Eli's death, Josh picked up the control device and maxed out Patrick's aggression settings, but still, he didn't respond. Josh grabbed Eli's finger and pressed it against the back of Patrick's neck. 5 seconds later, the robot reset. Josh quickly reassigned himself as Patrick's designated partner. Meanwhile, Iris was speeding back home. Suddenly, an alarm blared inside the car. Josh had reported it stolen, triggering a remote lockdown. Iris kicked out the window with all her strength, but the commotion drew a patrolling officer's attention. Thinking quickly, she changed languages and pretended to be a foreign tourist in trouble. But when the officer peered inside the vehicle and saw the bloodstained dagger, he grew suspicious. What they didn't know was that Patrick, now at maximum aggression, was charging toward them in a rage. Moments later, Patrick returned to the villa driving a police car, with the officer's corpse in the trunk. Realizing things had spiraled completely out of control, Kat packed her bags, ready to flee. "Take your hands off it!" "Patrick, stop her," Josh commanded. But Patrick misinterpreted the order, his aggression setting at max, and poor Kat paid the ultimate price for her betrayal. Later, in front of Josh, Patrick prepared a candlelit dinner. Josh had finally reactivated Iris, but this time, she was tightly bound to a chair. Josh tried to sweet-talk his way back into Iris's trust. Seeing she couldn't be swayed, Josh used the control device to wipe her intelligence completely. In an instant, Iris became a mindless robot that followed orders without question. Josh ordered her to hold out her hand and then placed a burning candle beneath it. Her hand didn't flinch. While the candle burned, Josh called the robotics company and requested a technician to retrieve Iris. Only then did he allow Patrick to extinguish the flame. Josh handed him a gun and ordered Iris to point it at herself. Mechanically, she complied. Shortly after, the technicians arrived at the villa. Due to severe cranial damage, they couldn't connect with Iris. But one of them noted that the robot's storage module and processor were located in the abdomen. The head was merely a housing for sensors and cameras. The repair tools were in their van. Josh instantly felt a chill down his spine. Cut to Iris being lifted onto the van. Just as the team prepared to leave, they noticed Patrick standing in front of the vehicle, glaring silently. Josh, now fearing for his life, ran toward the forest. Meanwhile, Iris's repairs were complete. Patrick had already caught up with the boy and was about to strike when Iris arrived just in time. However, her system had been reset. She couldn't harm another robot. Patrick knocked away her stun baton and moved in for the kill. Desperate, Iris cried out that Eli was Patrick's true love and that Josh had merely manipulated him for selfish gain. She recounted memories they had shared together. Two conflicting sets of memories began to war within Patrick's mind. Realizing he had been deceived, Patrick found himself unable to take revenge on Josh. Without hesitation, he turned the electric button on himself. Back at the villa, Josh was frantically packing up to flee with the money when suddenly, loud music blared from the living room. Following the sound, he discovered that Iris was already waiting for him. He quickly pulled out the controller, attempting to shut Iris down, only to find it no longer worked. It turned out that Iris had previously asked the boy to help him lift all restrictions. As long as Josh was eliminated, no one would know Iris's true identity, and he could live on as an ordinary human. But Josh showed no fear. He believed that even though Iris had broken free from his control, as long as his memory module remained unchanged, Iris would still love him because of the fabricated memories. Suddenly, Josh launched a surprise attack, throwing Iris aside and pinning him to the ground, moving the gun toward Iris's abdomen. At that critical moment, it was an inconspicuous electric bottle opener that ultimately claimed Josh's life. In the final scene, Iris washed away all the filth from his body, took the hidden fortune, and began a new chapter of his life.